Great stuff. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining me on another Wednesday Chen style class. Not Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's take right hand in fist, please. Left hand straight. Pull back the thumb, feet together, hands together. Xue Sam Hao. You can say Lao Shi Hao. Lovely to see you again. Let's just do a few little warm-up movements and then we'll use the form itself to continue to warm. So just going into the four corners, please. And checking in with your body today, keeping the top of the head floating up, chin slightly down and back. Good. The guest appearance with our wee cat. He wants out. I'm keeping him in during rush hour. Okay, let's change direction, please. Breathe. Hello. Yeah, hello. I'll let you out soon, okay? You can say goodbye to your flooring when you have a cat. All right, so let's do a little bit of an ankle rotation. Let's link the wrists, circle the wrists. Ryan, please. Thank you. He has one little patch that he likes to scratch, which I suppose is good. Let's change direction. Good, and shake out on the other side, little rotation. And change direction. Good, and shake out. Lovely, okay. Let's do a little bit of shoulder movements. And add a little bounce. Yeah, I know you want out. Be soon. And change. One at a time. And change. Before class, we were talking about whether we were morning people or not. Well, I was in bed a little bit later than I meant to be last night, but if I don't get my 8 hours, I tend to be a little bit thick. I think I got 7 hours last night. Let's take a deep breath, lift. And good, and again. One more time. And let's lengthen up through the top of the head. And let's just do little circles. Think of drawing your nose around in a circle. And you can make it a little bit bigger. See, are you getting crackles and crunches? Maybe try and make it a little bit bigger. And change direction. Ooh, lots of crunches. Now I'm just circling my nose. I'm not going back at this stage. So the Chen style warm-up is slightly different again. Let's try that. So this time we're going to turn center, just like the very first exercise, but this time we allow the movement to go vertically. So it's going up and down through the body, all the way to the top of the head. And so there is circling with the head, but it's really just as part of the whole body circling. You feel a difference? Still might get the odd crackle and crunch, but maybe this way is a bit gentler. Let's change direction. This is quite a nice exercise because it gives a chance for all of the joints to move. Very good. Let's bring everything back to center. Slowly float up. Relax down into your belly once more. Good. Easing from your stance. Lovely. Let's just take a gentle stretch. As I say, I don't feel fully awake yet, so I tend to teach the class that I need and hope that that works for you as well. Let's square up and do a little bit of movement forwards and back, keeping the heel down. Again, we were talking about rising early. It's the done thing in China. If you do Tai Chi, you rise early, or even if you just have an activity in the park, you get up at about 4. Good, and change over. Maybe by the time you get to the park, it's 5 o'clock. Then you do a few hours of Tai Chi, and then if you're working, you go on to work. All before the heat of the day has really hit. Very good, and relax down. I think that's something that, let's just do a little bit of movement for the legs. That's something that here, you know, when people want Tai Chi and corporations and groups want Tai Chi, often it's in their lunch hour and they say, let's go outside and enjoy the fresh air and do Tai Chi outside. It's not a good time to do Tai Chi outside in the midday sun. Let's do a little stretch. Now, if you can, I'd like you to catch your ankle. If you can't catch your ankle, maybe you can hold on to your trousers, or if you had a little towel or a strap or something like that, that would be good too. So we're going to try and catch the ankle and just let the leg dangle down and hang and breathe. So you see there from the side, the leg is hanging, it's not sticking forwards if you can. So this is giving your thigh a little stretch, and you're just relaxing the kneecap, relaxing into the knee as well. Breathing into it. Good. All right. And then what we're going to do, if you can, extend the arm forwards and push your foot into your hand. You can always use a tabletop or the back of a chair to help you balance. Press into your hand with your foot and relax down. Good, and release. Good, so giving your thigh a little stretch. There are other ways of doing this. I don't know if it would be comfortable for you to do, but I remember back at ballet school, I would do what I call the Japanese sitting position, that I'd sit on my heels like this. And that also gives you a very similar stretch across your thighs. Just bear with me here for a second. And then I would walk back onto my arms. Now, I did extreme stuff. I would actually lie my body down a little bit further and actually lie. I'm not going to do it now because I'm not that young anymore, but I would actually lie my back down and really get a stretch across the thighs and the stomach muscles. But you can have a go at that just to lengthen and try bending, even going down to your elbows. I'm feeling a stretch. But of course, you have to be safe. It has to be comfortable. And you have to be able to get out of it easily, which I would roll over onto the side and then press yourself up. So that's an option if you can do that kind of thing. A lot of my students don't do floor work, don't want to do floor work, and I don't blame them, to be honest, as I'm getting that little bit older. So let's do the other side if you can. So remember, you can catch your trouser leg, you can use a strap or a towel, or even if you have a sofa or a chair nearby, if you can't get your foot right the way up, you can just rest your foot on the sofa. Just giving you something to give you that stretch. So if you can, catch hold and let the leg dangle down, breathing into it for a few moments, letting the weight of the leg hang, release, breathe, keeping good posture with the rest of the body. See if you can balance, feel the four corners of the foot against the floor. Breathe into the stretch, and then let's extend and push the foot into the hand if you can. Good, and release. And relax down, well done. You survived. Good, so the idea with that was to stretch the quads and to relax the knees a little bit. Okay, how are we feeling? We normally stretch the calf muscles. We can do that with a bow stance. If you take a nice big step forwards and just keep the heel down at the back, you can press your fingers down. We can give the body a bit of a wake up as well by lengthening up and lifting out of the body, off of the hips, and gently arc back. Keep breathing. Good, let's recover. Swing the arms out to the sides and walk in. Remember, back bends are going to help us to energize and to wake up. Let's do it on the other side. So we have our bow stance, bending the front leg, keeping the back leg quite straight, keeping your hips square, relaxing down, breathing. Let's lift up, extending up, out of the body, and gently arc back. Good, and recover. Swing out to the sides, walking your feet in. Lovely. Okay. Now, as I said, I'd like to use the form itself as our basic full warm-up. So at this point, I'd like you to do any little stretches that you feel the need to do, anything that feels needs released or hasn't quite yet warmed. Or if you want, now's a good time to take a wee sip of water. Get yourself ready, and then we will have a go through our form. So cheers. Today I'm drinking apple cider vinegar infused with ginger and fennel, cayenne, and a little turmeric. So cheers. I'm big into my morning elixirs. Excuse me. I would normally have raw honey in there as well, but I'm out of it. I'm going to have to buy more. Okay, are we ready? We're going to have a wee go through the whole of Lalja Yilu. We're doing the back view first, and then we'll maybe delve into some front view mirrored work to see if we can investigate closer into little details and work our brains for all of us. Okay, so let's give it a go. The whole form, please. Let's float up. And relax down. Let's just take a few moments in Wuji, just letting go, arriving, being present. Calm down. Listen behind. And let's begin. Now if you have room, just keep stepping. Agile takes a lot of space, so you just adjust as necessary. Right hand on the horse, facing the back. Relax to center. Left gathers right. Circle down to the left. Stepping left side across. And prepare to kick. Sink and kick. Step. Prepare. Kick. Turn to the back. Gather left. Turn palms. Kick left. 3 steps left. Prepare for punching the earth. Turn. And turn. Stepping to the left. Gathering right. Kick. Quarter turn, 3-way punch. Now, I've got quite a lot of space here, but I still don't have enough for this next move. So Jade, Maiden, play shovels. Ready? Second time, iPad on horse. Now we have our finishing circle. Gather to the left, turn the right shoulder back. This is your special punch. Diagonally down. Now we're going to kick the face the front. That's not normal. We'd normally finish facing the back, but just so that you can follow. Kick. Balls level with the base of your body. Think of sealing in your good energy and point to the floor. Give yourself a moment to return to Wuji. Good, and recover. Well done. We heel tap. Ease from your stance. Come and talk to me. Let me know how you're getting on with the form. Well, tell you what, I'm struggling with it. I've just had yet another cold. Oh, doing a bit of gardening at the polytunnel, shoveling manure and what's that stuff called? Decomposing grass. And I got a cold. I don't know, can you get a cold from that? Or was it just a coincidence? But once through the form and I'm sweating, finding it hard going. But it's good, as long as it's in moderation. I think it's very useful. It just gets the energy flowing. It is medicine. It's just important that we don't do too much when we're under the weather. Good, so yes, how did you get on?
Okay.
One at a time. Okay.
Eric, you talk.
All right, okay.
Eric?
Eric,
Yeah,
yeah.
I did a bit of practice on holiday and I got completely lost. So I was expecting the same thing this morning, but no, it went okay this morning.
Good, good. Yeah, often when we practice together, we have a kind of hive mind that we're all working together. And it's not just one person's brain taking over trying to keep it. So there are places, you probably find there are certain places in the form that if you're going to go wrong, that's where you're going to go wrong. You know, that there's a sort of junctions where the mind can easily slip away. Personally, I find it with Lauja, it's in the repetitions because, you know, you're in this very familiar place, but you have to keep your wits about you so that you remember what's next. Otherwise, you can get stuck in a loop and you can miss whole sections out. So it's a beautiful form, and I find the repetitions very comforting and enjoyable, and like little islands of sanctuary that you can go, oh, thank goodness, well, at least I know that bit before I have to do another challenging section where I have to focus. but at the same time, it's easy to get lost. Because of that, it's like going to a place with many roundabouts. You know, you go, which roundabout is this? And yeah, where do I go from here? But as I say, when we practice in a group, we can all help each other, and it helps us focus, I think, as well. So don't worry at all if when you're practicing you get a bit lost and confused. That's par for the course with a long form like this. But just keep at it, and you'll find certain days you might not have thought you were particularly with it, and then you'll go through the form and you'll get through no problem. And other days you feel sharp as a tack, and yet you get stuck somewhere and go, what happened? It's just part of it. But if you do it enough times, that recedes and it becomes more, not quite autopilot, but you're able to navigate more easily, especially if you can sort of pinpoint those places where if it will go wrong, it does go wrong, and then you can work specifically on them so that you're less and less vulnerable at those points to get lost. Yeah, excuse me while I blow my nose. Sorry. But very good.
Yeah,
okay,
I find some weeks to get through it all right. And then like I was getting a wee bit confused in the turns today. But then the last time I did it, it was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of these things. But as I say, there's a sort of period where it'll be like that. It'll be a little bit sporadic, that sometimes it'll go well and sometimes not. But if you keep going with enough practice, that won't happen anymore, that it'll be good every time, and then it'll give you an opportunity to delve deeper into little nuances and fine-tuning, so that it's not a question of, oh, I thought I had it, that you've got it, but then you can build on it. And I suppose that's where I'm at. And that's the beauty of Laoja or any form. The idea is not that you learn it, and then once you've got it all the way through, that you can get through, then okay, I've got it now, next. It's not like that. It is a work in progress. It's designed to give you the tools to polish your Tai Chi. I heard this really beautiful quote the other day in a different genre. It was saying that perfectionism should be your guiding star and not a distant shore. So we're always striving for perfection, because you remember that's what Tai Chi means. It means supreme, ultimate. We're going for the ultimate perfection, but we're never going to get there because it's impossible. You know, we're aiming for the impossible. But think of it like a guiding star, that we just keep driving towards it, and that will take us on our journey. Whereas if you think it's a distant shore, that it is possible to get there, but it's just going to, you know, you'll try and you'll never get there, then you're missing the point. So the form is the vehicle to drive you towards that guiding star. It's not possible to attain perfection, but we're going to give it a jolly good go. But you're doing well, so don't worry at all. It's just that's part of the journey. You know, sometimes you think you're on the right track, and sometimes you hit a dead end, but you just keep on picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, and trying again. All right, so we've got a good 20 minutes to see if we can polish something. Now, folks, just before we do, we've been kind of going through the form with the front view and mirrored. But is there any movement in particular, or any place that you know you're kind of getting lost, that you'd like to polish at this stage?
Yeah, I think it's the turn with me, Jay.
Okay.
Just that in the middle.
Yeah, part 2, the turning section. Yeah, I mean, that's, if ever there's going to be a place where people get confused, it's that part. And to be honest, you're not really at any much, maybe a slight disadvantage being on the screen to being live. But I find teaching it live, still it is an issue, because as we turn, I can't be in front of the students at all. stages. So I either say, okay, turn and keep going and try and talk them through while I walk around them to be in front of them. Or I say, hold it, pause, and they have to sort of freeze frame where they are while I walk around them. And if you pause like that, you're losing flow, and it's also fractures the perception of what you're doing if you're having to sort of hold it. So regardless, people struggle with that section. So let's give it a look. Now, what we could do is we could flip the room. So we're all doing the same thing, but as you're facing me, we're actually facing the back. Do you know what I mean? Do you think that might be useful? We can give it, we can try it.
I'll try it.
Try it. I think once.
And then I'll practice it separate as well. I'll practice it separately as well.
Yeah, that's grand. That's grand.
After class.
Yeah, one of the things with turns, if I try and mirror it to give you a front view with a turn, it's too confusing, you know, because turning in itself is confusing and the mirror sort of stops working once we flip around. So I think just keeping it that we're all doing the same thing, but we'll flip the room so that you're facing me instead of facing away from me as we do the move. We'll try that. Yeah. Okay, let's give it a go. Quite often when I finish the recording, I get a bit of feedback. That's when the most interesting things come up. And people, so I left it recording there. Okay, so right, so we're thinking of part 2. High pat on horse. Basically, if you remember it, if you think of the form, this is just the normal way of viewing. You've done your cloud hands, 1, 2, 3, 4. And opening, turn on the heel, gather, step, open, and you're pulling your left shoulder back as we turn the right, so then step to the side left and turn to face the back. Your body from the waist is facing the corner, and then we have our high pat on horse and relax down to center. I realize I'm miles away. So this is where we are. We've done our high pat on horse. So bear with me. We're going to spin the room around. So now facing the screen is going to be facing your front. Now I know that brings its own issues because you have the sort of geographic memory, but we'll try it this way. So it means you'll be able to see me at least. Okay, so you're standing on your right. Your left hand is underneath your left breast and you're pressing towards the corner. Left heel lifted. We're going to gather. So this makes our ward off position and roll back to the left, keeping it at waist height. Don't bring the arms down, just at waist height. Now the left side, hand and foot come across. We're stepping onto the blade of the foot and then rolling onto the foot as we feed off the back foot and we sink down. And as we sink down, the palms raise, palms flat and thumbs out of the way. And you can literally touch the knee to the floor if you can, but you don't have to. And we're going to kick and bring the arm down at the same time. You release the foot and you step. And we're going to do the same thing to face, well, it's to face the front normally. So we're turning, the arms are coming up and you're sinking down. And bring the back foot up, bring it straight back behind and bring your arms up with the backs of the palms touching or facing each other. And then you untwist and scoop the arms round. Yeah, let's just do that much again, okay? So we're from high pat on horse. Yeah. We gather, circle down, left side across, preparation and kick, step, left hand under, sink down, arms up, preparation kick, arms straight away up, foot that kicked comes straight back behind, and turn to face the back. Good, now let's gather up. Palms facing up, flip the palms over and pull the toes back. And now we're going to kick left. And 3 steps left. 1, 2, and 3. Good, now you're going to turn towards your right and make, flipping the arms over, make fists and draw in towards your waist. So you're drawing the elbows in a little bit, and then we have our block up and our punch down. So this is called planting flowers or punch the earth. And the body should actually be on a diagonal at this stage. Now my stance isn't very big. If it was bigger, you would see it. It's on the diagonal. It's not straight up like this. Good, okay. So we feed the weight back. Left hand down the line of the leg, rotating inwards. So there's a real spiral with the arm as you turn the leg in. And we release, feeding into the left leg, untwist the arm. We're going to sweep the right foot just a quarter turn, the sweeping round to the right. And we're going to use the balls of the foot to help us pivot, bringing the left toes in as the arms come up, and release, relax down into our monkey holds peach. Good, so let's do that section again from our high pat on horse. Yeah, so just do it with me. Ready? And good, and rest. Well done. Are we touching on the area that you were concerned about, Lillian?
Yeah.
Okay,
good.
Great. Let's do it one more time. I'm just going to pop you on mute because I can hear you kicking. It's very good. It's actually nice to hear those kick sounds. Good. Okay, so we'll go again, just that wee section, and then we'll maybe look at the next wee bit. Okay, so high pat on the horse. Yeah. Ready? And good. Okay, and relax. So what I might suggest to you, bear with me here, is when you're using this video, hopefully you will, maybe put your screen in on the opposite side of the room that it normally is, so that as you practice following me, you are actually facing in the normal direction as opposed to flipping the room around direction for this section. Do you see what I mean? So normally you're facing away from me as we do this section because you're facing the back of the room at the beginning of high fat on horse. Whereas if you're using your computer screen, you can actually lift your computer, bring it round and plonk it in the back of the room so you can do it as it's meant to be done. Now, when I use video, if I want to watch Master Chen, I actually set up a room, gosh, years ago, where I had a video television on one wall and I had a mirror on the other wall. And I would follow the back view of the master doing it, but I would follow in the reflection of the mirror. No, not the back view. No, it was the front view. Sorry, this was for the front view. Yeah, confusing myself. So I would watch the video, but I would watch it in the mirror of the front view. And that meant that it was mirror image. So just like I'm trying to teach you a little bit here at times, front view and mirrored, it meant that I didn't think about it. If he did this, I would use my right hand. And if he did this, I would use my left hand. That it was mirrored. Yeah. And then when he turned to face the back, I turned to face the back. And there was the screen with him doing it normally. So I was able to continue. So when we watch front view normally, front view videos, it's very, very difficult to follow because if they're going that way, you have to go that way. You know what I mean? They're not mirroring it for you. Whereas that worked very well, but you do have to basically, you know, have it set up for you. So screen on one side, mirror on the other, and then you can follow front view. And it is great because when you do turn, there he is in front of you, but doing the back view so you can follow on. So it's seamless. So it's really very, very useful if you can set your room up in that way, but it does take some setting up. As I say, I used a sort of full wall mirror and as big a television as I could find, so that or as I had in the house. So it worked well, but it does require a bit of effort. But anyway, so you can do this. You can take your computer and put it on the other side. All right, so let's do it again. Front view, sorry, back view, but we've flipped the room. Okay, are we ready? Here we are. And relax. Good, how did you get on? Let's look at the next bit. So we release, step right, false kick or feint, and left kick. Right kick, sorry, and back. Palm facing out the first time. Left palm facing in the second time. So we step. We're going to turn. Push the hands out as you bring your leg across. And in and turn. Good. Step left. And kick. Boy shoulder position, quarter turn, and stamp. And punch. And rest. Well done. Okay, should we do that once more? We'll go from the monkey holds peach position. I don't think it does any harm to look at it from a different angle. Sometimes it fills in the gaps because it's always the same. I think that may well add to the sort of gaps in the mind, that we're always facing away from each other at the same points. So that must make it harder, I think, to remember. So it's good to flip the room now and again for that reason. So let's go for monkey holds peach. Hold on. Yes, that's right. Ready? And good, and rest. Very good. Well, I've just sort of spoke there about that mirror idea of watching the front view with a mirror. I think it's really useful and certainly worth a look. We haven't actually had time today to do any of the mirrored work. And honestly, I'm a little relieved because my brain isn't functioning great today. But I would definitely recommend it. Even you don't have to set it up on the walls. Even if you find a clip of Master Chen, Grandmaster Chen, doing the form front view, and let's face it, most of his performances are front view. If you sit with your back, even get a hand mirror or, you know, I don't know, some mirror just close to, and watch it that way, it will give you that that flip, that you'll be able to see exactly what he's doing without having to try and work it out on the other side. There are some very clever people out there who have that natural ability to work it out. I have some students, when I try to mirror for them, they can't hack it because they're going, that's her right hand, so and then they use their right hand, and it, you know, my efforts are lost. You know, they're too clever for me. But it can really, really help. It has helped me a great deal. If you're thinking, you know, what's this mirror business about? Nobody else does this. Well, some teachers do it, but that's how I saw the details and was able to follow the master. I literally used a mirror. And coming from a ballet background, I think we're much more open to the idea of using mirrors to help us see our teachers from different angles. So it was the most natural thing in the world for me to do. But I would definitely encourage you to have a wee go at that, because the majority of any performances that you'll see online are front view, because they're performances. They're meant to be seen, you know, from the front, which is beautiful, but it's not much use to you when you're trying to learn from them. So anyway, let's have a wee warm down, please. Mirrors are great things. Yeah, as long as you don't look at wrinkles and grey hair and fat, then you're fine. Don't use it to see fault. Use it as a constructive criticism. Keep going, please. I have a wee an alarm there to tell me stop teaching. So this is at 9 o'clock. Keep going, please. Keep breathing, relax, and shaking out. Are there any bits of your body that are complaining, that have worked hard? Good. That's a sign that you're getting stronger. I feel it in my thighs today, so I'm going to give my thighs a little bit of love. Let's go down the legs and just give everything a wee bit of attention. Feet, ankles, thighs, knees, every part you can reach. Kidneys, round the back, over the shoulders. This is when I realise how tense my shoulders have been. Actually, they're better today than they have been. That's good. Good. All right, shaking out, please. Let's do a little heel tap. I would like you, please, to take 10 minutes if you can now, just to walk around, maybe go around the garden, walk around the house, get some fresh air outside, and complete your warm down with gentle movement for 10 minutes, just to ease yourself back into a state of rest. That will hugely reduce the recovery time and help you feel well. Let's take a deep breath. And relax down. Last time, fill your lungs. Suspend your breath, point your fingers to the sky, press your toes into the earth. Think of sealing in your good energy and release, relax down. Let's cover center. Hug your elbows in. Find your center, breathing into it. Feel your energy is stronger. Well done, everyone. Relax down. We didn't do standing practice today, so please do your standing practice. And we salute Xie Sang Hao. Thank you. And you can say Lao Shi Hao. Well done, everyone. Happy training. See you next time.
All right. Thank you.